Yes.
Okay. Do you have a lawyer?
Well, we all signed a.
Right. I mean, but some folks are separate and apart from the class.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I asked that.
No.
Okay. So what I would encourage you to do, and if you're not getting answers, is I would probably follow up with your lawyers and talk to them and see if they can give you some answers. And if they can't, we can't technically give you legal advice because
You're represented.
He's
you're represented
Yes.
by counsel. But we may be able to just give you a summary of what we understand is going on with the case if you called the office. But we couldn't get into the technicalities and the
Nitty-gritty.
specifics of
Well,
your
the
case.
fact that it's a class action, there are a lot of lawyers involved. There are
And-
different defendants involved. There are a number of
Right.
clients, litigants involved. So, and none of the ships are all sailing in the same direction. So it's really tough to get all the ships sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, David is
back
off
in the
this week.
beginning, a year ago, actually more than a
Okay. So we're being told the case is on hold
They
because
were-
the
they were
judge,
just like doing.
Hang on,
They were
caller.
trying to push this issue.
the
telling
judge
everybody, "Oh, you're
removed
getting
the
Hang on,
law
caller.
firm.
30.
Hang on, caller. Listen for a minute.
The judge
Yeah.
removed the firm that was administering the payments, the firm that administers the class action payments. They were removed because there were some mistakes being made, and a new firm has been appointed. And there's an audit going on. So that's the reason for the delay.
That's the update we have.
Thank
I
you,
knew
Leo.
that. But I mean, as far as they were making a lot of claims. They were trying to get everybody they could get to file, and it seemed like to me, just guessing, that the attorneys involved were probably getting the more people they could sign up, whether they got it or not. We're just it just was like, hey, this is going to be money for you, and
So, caller,
we'll take care of it.
I
When
think
they
a lot
said
of
you'd
folks.
probably have it by the end of the year. Well, that was last year.
Yeah, you're just,
Yeah,
in other
now
words,
you're not hearing anything about it.
yeah, you want to know where's your money.
Right.
basically.
And I think a lot of folks share that frustration because we've had multiple calls
Right.
even to the law firm here.
Yeah.
So that's understandable, but that does make sense. And unfortunately, I think with a new firm being appointed and the audit being ongoing, that's just a timely process. The courts do not move fast.
Okay, so really, there's no new news that anybody knows.
No,
for
there's
sure.
no new news. Unfortunately.
Okay.
I appreciate your call. And I would imagine, Frank, these audits take time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, these types of things. Look, Ron, you've been on with this show for so long. Court takes time.
Right.
Folks don't understand. They think that there's instant gratification in filing lawsuits.
And they think
Never
because they have a
happens.
lawyer, your lawyer could push the docket, but we
Yeah,
really
it's-
can't. The
no.
court has its own docket. They move at their own pace.
And
I had
the
one
courts are
client tell me
busy.
to text the judge to make it go faster.
Right.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say to any of the callers about these Palestine cases, if there's a point of contact that they have through somebody, that they've worked through, I think you have to start there. And unfortunately, we're limited in what we can assist with as it relates to that. So
I wish you luck.
But
though.
I mean, it's pretty much an explanation when you say, this firm, whatever firm is out and somebody else is in, because
Yeah,
they
that
weren't
says a
happy with
lot.
the people distributing the money, and you want to make sure that's done properly.
sure, that's important. I mean, at the end of the
Right.
day, remember the folks that were injured in this and that suffered, and those are the victims of this case, and those are the folks that deserve the compensation. And I think that a lot of people don't feel like they're getting the right attention, and that's understandable.
And you don't want to make any mistakes when you're administering the payout.
No,
I
sure.
mean,
No, you want it all to be
and
done
if
the
mistakes
right way.
were made, they have to remedy those mistakes. So you
Right.
have to backtrack.
Sure, there's no
Right.
doubt about it.
Talia Oregano, do you have anything to say? That was
Oregano,
my trick
okay.
name for you.
I like it. I like it. No, I feel bad that we're at such a standstill for all these folks. I know that they really want answers. It is going to take some time. Answers will come, and we can keep you up to date with what we know. Like Frank said, we can't really give legal advice because you are represented, but we can keep you updated to what we understand is going on. But I do feel for you, and we wish you the best of luck.
Right. People just would like to get compensated, and I'm sure many of them can use the money as well.
100%.
All right. Let me see. Line 3, you're on with our attorneys tonight. Hello there.
Ron,
Yes.
hey, you guys were talking about Jimmy Melfi being the pride of Gerard and
Yeah.
introducing each other. And that's when I first called. Because I have to say that Jimmy Melfi is probably more important in terms of Italian history than any of the other Southern Italians there. He's not only the pride of Gerard, but I'll make it real short. Have you ever heard of the Normans that once took over England? They were Vikings that moved to northern France. Well, they not only did they take over northern England when Rome fell.
Well, wait a minute, Michael. Hang
All
on. Let me do my headlines. I want to come back and hear this. I mean, it sounds to me like Melfi, you should be wearing a Viking hat or something.
Well, the
I want to find the details.
Remember, the
Coming
Vikings
up
burnt their boats.
after this.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas. T-Mobile Arena. Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way there.
Escape to poolside paradise at MGM Resorts in Las Vegas.
First, Frank, I want to ask you a question, Frank, if you got a minute, and then we'll go right back to our caller. When you were growing up, Frank, I mean, and you had a family dinner, I would assume you had those, on Sunday or whenever families do. I take it, correct?
Yes,
You
sir.
come from a large family, Frank?
Yes, sir. Huge,
All right, I mean,
huge family.
You know, so you had a dining room table and a
Yeah.
large family.
Every
So-
Sunday we ate at Mama's, and there was 13 cousins.
Oh my,
And then
13.
all the adults. So
Right.
that
So
was
your
every Sunday.
so your dad would show up, right, and,
Yeah.
and bring all of you guys. And you know, I'm sure when you showed up, you know, this was where your dad would sit. This is Dad's chair right here.
That's it.
Now, Frank, let me ask you a question. Just bear with me, all of you attorneys, for a minute.
Did you get
You
a
know,
text? I
no,
get Ron Verb got a text.
No, Mark, will you shut up? Now, you know what, Mark? I'm going to cite you for leading the witness. All right.
I got a text too, and it
You know,
says I
you
need to
know,
keep
right.
order. So
You know what I mean?
Order
I
in court.
object to DeVecchio, Your Honor. I just object.
I
to him.
just knew right where you were going
right.
Mark's been
because
yelling
we're
night.
all getting text messages right now.
We
So
sure are.
Could you
Order in
just
the
tell me
court.
up? My point is this, Frank. You know, your dad had his chair at the head of the table when you would sit there. And as a kid, did you dare sit in that chair because you knew?
I knew
That
that was
was
his
your dad's
seat.
chair.
That was his seat. I would never do
Right,
it.
but your dad
So-
was always there every Sunday, right?
That's right.
And that's why he
Yeah,
had that
but-
chair.
it.
But even if he wasn't there, Frank, out of respect, and listen to me, Frank, out of respect, you wouldn't sit in that chair because that's Dad's
That's
chair.
Dad's
right?
chair. Yep. I wouldn't sit in it.
All right. And what are you doing today, Frank?
Well,
According to this text message, DeVecchio, that I received. Thanks, Mark.
well, you know what? It's funny because he, for whatever reason, calls himself Daddy around the office now. So
Yes.
I suppose I'm sitting in Daddy's chair tonight.
Right.
He doesn't.
all-
Does he
he-
really
yeah,
call
he-
himself daddy?
Oh yeah, he
He
brings food.
made
He goes,
Jackson go to Pam and or his wife and say, "Hey, Daddy needs a drink."
yeah. I don't know what he's doing. He brought in donuts or pizza or something a week. Going through a little bit, you know, he's getting older, and I've
The
talked
change
to
of
Can't
him.
even
life or
say
something
midlife
along-
crisis.
Yeah,
It's-
no,
I
it's
mean,
not-
it's
no,
like
it's
not
before
that.
quarter
No,
crisis.
No,
he's going
right.
through
And
right
he's
now.
just, you know, I think he's just, he kind of looks around sometimes, and David doesn't like to be left out, and he's looking at it, and he
Oh, he's
loves everybody in the
FOMO.
room right now, and he feels left out, and he wants to be on the radio, and he's stuck in a mechanic shop fixing his boat.
He has FOMO.
Yeah, he got FOMO.
He has
He's
FOMO.
got
Yeah, but-
FOMO.
It's a thing.
But you know, and that was excellent dissertation on your part, Frank. And let me say this: as a skilled attorney, you talked about this diversion that you had just given me,
Yes.
and I want to go back to the central point, Frank. And I appreciate everything you stated.
Thank you.
But I would go back to the point and say that's irrelevant. What seat are you sitting in right now?
I'm sitting in Beatrice's seat.
All right. And you said to me you would always respect your father if he wasn't there, and you wouldn't dare sit in his seat because that's Dad's seat. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But yet, and we refer to Dave as Daddy at the
No,
front.
I don't refer to Dave as
You
daddy.
don't refer to that.
David
No, we do
refers
not.
to David as daddy.
All right.
He's
All right,
cross-examining you right now.
And whose seat are you sitting in?
The guy who calls
If-
himself daddy.
All right. And do you think that's appropriate when you did not sit in your own father's seat and Dave would be like a second father to you?
Okay.
Just
Yes.
answer the question.
No, the answer
Well, now
is
you're making
absolutely.
presumptions.
He's not here. A.
Yeah. Yeah.
B. I got no issue sitting in this chair. None. And I even had to get his stupid microphone that I don't like. That doesn't work.
It is the worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, Ron, I got no issue. And you know what? Beatrice got no issue either. He's just texting you because he wants you to talk about him on the show.
He
That's what
loves
he's doing.
Frank.
Yeah.
He's-
If-
he
if-
misses
listen,
us.
this is all ploy.
And he
So
succeeded.
David
It is
is not
not-
on the radio tonight, but he wants
feels-
everybody to know
You're
Frank,
here in
he's
spirit,
still here
Dave.
in spirit.
He's
Still here.
he feels violated. You understand me, Frank?
Yeah.
Violated.
Well, listen, if he feels violated for this, and God knows how he feels 6 other days of the week.
Right. Let me ask you another question. I'm going to take a call. Frank, you know, I would imagine when you go down to the NVR, you have a seat that's just yours because of the family, and that's where you sit, right?
No, I don't have one of those.
Come on, Frank.
That is
No.
outrageous. You
Hey,
have a chair?
Frank, you
I
need
don't.
to answer honestly.
No, you know what though, Ron? My grandfather did.
Yeah.
My grandfather sat at the end of the bar. It was my man's seat. and
Aw.
everybody went to see him, and it was like, that was Joe's seat, and literally people didn't sit there because
I
he
love
had
that.
hours. He had
I love
hours when
that.
he would get done. When he was retired and he would get done at the YMCA, he would come down to the restaurant. He'd sit in his seat, and my grandpa wasn't a big drinker. He'd get a draft beer in a Pilsner glass, and he'd make the bartender put this obnoxious head on the beer. I mean, when I bartended, he'd make me nuts. He'd tell me, "Big head, Frankie, big head, big head," and I get that. I'm like, Papa, like, you're drinking foam, man. And then he didn't care. He'd sip it. He may have two. He'd get his food. He'd hang out. He'd talk to everybody. He'd hold court. And then he'd head home. I got to tell you one quick story.
Yeah,
You'll laugh
nobody
at it.
sat in that seat, right, Frank?
No, nobody did sit in that seat. But
all right, so
I got to tell you the truth. There's no
before-
disrespect to Beatrice because I love the dude, but my grandfather was a much scarier man than David Beatrice.
Right, but I mean,
I didn't
you
mess
should
with
have
him.
learned that respect over your lineage from how you did it for your grandfather.
I do.
But apparently, Dave
I'm holding the fort. That's
Dave is
respect.
hurt. All right. I'll see if he sends me any more text messages. And I just want to personally tell DeBecchio to shut up.
Ron, he's all over you tonight.
I know.
With the
Mark
Tally
exactly.
game, I
Mark
mean,
knew
jeez.
exactly where it's going.
Uh,
Mark is like got intuition
But
like
do-
I've never seen.
Do you understand?
DeBecchio is really good.
David
He's
gives
great.
up. David gives it up too early, Ron. He after he texts Mark, then he texts us as a group.
Yeah, well, then he texts me.
And we all
As
have
you well
jobs.
know, Mark.
Oh,
Yes.
He says, "I'm Zaddy." He just texts us. He said,
Get
"I'm,
it
I'm
straight.
Zaddy." Get it straight. That must be Lebanese. I don't know.
No, it's Jiddu and
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Now I
Jid.
want to get back to the story of the Melfi lineage. Go
Oh.
ahead.
Right. Yeah. So the Normans, they were the Vikings that were real tough guys. They took over part of England. They went down to France and they took over all of northern France. They called it Normandy. So after and they attacked Paris, and Paris told them, "Hey, we'll give you land." So they gave them Normandy, and then they took all over Normandy. And instead of taking the rest of France, they sent their young guys out around Spain and down to the peninsula in Italy because Rome had fell and the Germans were attacking from the north, and they took over what is today Calabria and the province to the west of it, of which James said he's from. And the army that defeated or that they took over, the kingdom that they started was named Melfi.
I did not
And it
know
was the
that.
kingdom of Melfi, and it existed for over 200 years in southern Italy, and it's part of the reason why Italy didn't unify till many years later, because it was ruled by Normans. And many people just, as Jimmy's also probably half Greek, but there were a bunch of Greeks there too because of the Byzantine Empire they took over. So
Quarter
that's
Greek.
why Jimmy is descendant of the kingdom of Melfi, and he's more important than the rest of us Southern Italians. So just wanted to share that
That's
with you guys.
wonderful.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I
Good for you, Jimmy.
I needed that history lesson.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Frank,
guess
those
so.
are
better
Frank, those are
than
your
Zaddy.
people
That's a
too,
king.
though.
Yeah,
That's a whole
that's
kingdom.
beautiful.
You know?
That is. I like it.
That really must be a
that was
metaphor for what's going on on the radio today. David being gone is we conquered something 200 years later, and
Hey, Ron. Beatrice.
and now you're Melfi. Now you're the head of the kingdom of Beatrice.
Ron, Beatrice sent a text, and it was a Google dictionary thing of Zaddy, and Zaddy is a sexually attractive man, especially an older one who is fashionable or charismatic. So let's just talk
We'll-
about fashionable
we'll
for
give
a
him.
minute.
I'll give him charismatic.
He's very charismatic. The guy
Oh.
duct tapes his sole of his shoe to his shoe and goes to court that way.
See, did he when he was cleaning his dress shoes? He's using the WD-40.
Oh, that
I
was
thought
the best
maybe
thing.
the bug spray or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never seen a man wear purple more than he does, though.
Hey, purple is the color of royalty.
I mean, he is like Prince,
Yeah.
legitimately like Prince. I've never seen him wear purple like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think that's
But-
a part of the Arabic roots too, like that. You know what I mean? That's his thing.
Or what about his Tracy McGrady suit?
Yeah.
But it's all about Zaddy. Huh?
Zaddy. Yeah, he beat Zaddy.
What is that again? An elderly, sexy man? What is that? the
Yeah,
definition?
right. That's what it says.
Paraphrasing, yes.
Yes.
Well, okay, and we'll all plead guilty that he's exactly that. All right, you're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, your question, please.
Yes, I was in an accident back in October, an auto accident, and it was the other person's fault. You have a police record about it all. And the car was paid for, the damages on the car. That was the first thing they settled. And then after that, there was 2 or 3 transmissions, a couple calls, and a couple emails. And then the last one was back in March. And that was the last time I heard from them. This attorney company, they're really big. And that was the last time. Now, October 14th of 25 or 24 was the accident. And now we're in September of 25, going on almost a year. I haven't heard anything from them. I keep getting a letter from the other person's at fault insurance company saying that, it must be a standard letter that they send out every so often. We're working on things and so on and so forth. I think I get one every month. Should I call them or text them? I mean, it's going on a year. I haven't heard anything.
Are you waiting? Are you waiting for what, damages or like pain and suffering?
Are you represented by a lawyer?
Yeah.
A firm. Yes. I had a lawyer.
Yeah, you
firm.
have to call your firm. You got to call the firm. We can't. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's asking a fair question. If I understand you correctly, you're saying you got compensated for your car damages, correct, sir?
Yeah,
but you're saying
not the personal injury.
But you're saying that you were injured, or you are expecting money from what, a personal injury aspect of it? Yes or no?
Yes. I got an attorney involved.
All right.
Yes,
How were
had
you?
the medical issues.
Sure. How were you injured?
That I'm still paying on monthly. I'm paying on one of the bills monthly. It's a pretty big bill. And
what happened to you?
They covered the ambulance.
Right.
They sent a letter to the ambulance company, and saying that they will be a letter of letter stating that they'll make sure that you'll get paid.
Letter of protection.
The ambulance company.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. That was sent to the ambulance, but that was back in March. I haven't heard nothing else.
So if you're
Are you
representing, you can
talking-
call
are you
that
talking-
attorney and check in, and you can say, "Hey, just checking on the status, checking in," and your attorney should have an update.
Right, but something's it's too long, is what you're saying, sir. Right? You want some info.
Well, that's the question. Is it too long? Or a lot of people tell
It's
me
not
"Boy, it
too
takes
long.
forever."
It's not too long at all. The
Right.
statute doesn't even run yet. You still have an active
Like we
statute.
said earlier, it moves slowly. These things are not happening overnight.
The
So
case-
contact your
The
attorney.
case
for sure.
Frank and I tried in June happened in 19. We had a trial in June of 25.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's
The wheels of
insane.
justice turn slowly.
Yeah, I'm thinking anyway. So I should maybe just give them an email and just say, just wondering how things were moving along. I mean,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
just-
You
I
can
don't
even
wanna
call too. Do
upset
an email
them.
and a call and
I
just
don't
say,
want them to
check it in.
cancel me. I mean,
They're
They
not
won't.
gonna
They're not
cancel
going to
you.
cancel you. They're going to get a
No,
third of
You're their
whatever you
client.
collect.
Yeah.
You're able to check in with your attorney at any time. That's their job.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do that and see what they
Yeah,
say.
call
Best of
him.
luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Well, why is it people? You shouldn't be afraid to call the person that they're paying to represent. I mean, they're going to be compensated for representing him. You shouldn't be
Most of
afraid
my
to
clients
call
aren't
them.
afraid to do that.
Most of our clients are not afraid to do that. But yes, we are working for the client. So if the client has a question and it hasn't been answered 10 times, they need to call.
Yeah.
Send an email, call. That's what we do. That's what we're here for.
To at least there should be communications, right, on where the
100%.
case is and how long before it settles. But my ears perked up. This can't be typical of 2019, and you're telling me 6 years later, because
Depends on the case.
let's be realistic. A lot of people could die in that time frame before it's ever settled.
That may be what they're hoping for.
Oh my goodness.
Very well could be.
Yeah.
Are you saying something personal to me, Mark? Are you
No.
making
Dear,
feel as though
no,
that's-
not at all.
based on my age, Mark?
Not at all.
Mark, stop
Since
winking at
it's-
me. Stop winking at me.
Yeah,
when you
since
say
I'm older than Zaddy, is,
Ron,
are you saying
Age is mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
Oh, you're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Welcome to the program. Hello there.
I like that. There's a good takeaway. If you don't mind, it don't matter. I want to know what you guys think about. I mean, I know, like, at least I think it's, being an attorney is like probably a big club. But what do you think about an attorney representing a person against a company that the attorney holds stock in that company? Does that make sense, my question?
Sounds like a conflict
Get
of
it?
interest.
Like a publicly
Yeah,
traded
yeah.
company?
I mean,
That would be great. If the lawyer holds stock and then represents someone suing the company that he holds stock in, that would be a conflict of interest. You would,
Trust
by
me.
definition, wouldn't it be?
That just yeah, probably.
Well, you'd
but
have to
boy, that
disclose
seems-
to your client that you own stock in
Yeah,
Apple.
Yeah, right. I think just
And
an
if there was full
informed
disclosure,
consent and
yeah.
a waiver, you can get around that.
Yeah, we have a rule of ethics we're supposed to
Yeah,
adhere
so-
to.
Right there, you
But
would
you
need
can get around
informed
that.
consent.
So it's a rule, more like a guideline, but it's not illegal.
No, it's not. Well, you're
It would
talking
be
about
unethical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the lawyers have professional conduct rules, okay? Ethical professional conduct. Yeah, professional rules and responsibilities that we have to follow. And if there is an appearance of impropriety where there may be a conflict, for instance, in your example, I have stock in a company, a client wants me to sue that company. It's a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
I have to disclose that to the client. If they waive any conflict after being fully informed, then I think you could take the case, but you have to make sure you've informed them there may be a potential conflict.
The only way really you're gonna have potential conflict is you have to be like a majority
Stock.
shareholder.
Right,
You have to be on
exactly.
the board of
Yeah.
directors. Trust me. Your few shares of Amazon you have, and you have a case against Amazon.
It's not going to matter.
Right.
No,
I would agree
it's
with
not
that.
going to affect the value of the
But
company.
when you want the company's stock to do well, it seems like that you might be apt to hold back.
It might,
or
but
something
it's
of that nature. So does
it-
this like I forget what you call it, maybe a disclosure or something. Does that have to be in writing, or can it just be, oops, I slipped in a conversation with
you'd have to put it in writing. You'd have to put it in writing. In fact, to protect yourself, you'd have to have it in writing.
But I
Lawyers
would
love
think
everything.
if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist, right? I mean, right? Isn't that what's usually said? If it's not in writing, it didn't happen.
Well, no, I mean that you have oral agreements and you have oral contracts, and if someone denies that, I would put it in writing just to make sure that if someone denies that I disclosed it, that I have their signature on an authorization and a release.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
Jimmy and Frank are saying, if it's a big publicly traded company, it's not going to affect
Yeah,
the value
listen,
of the
one
stock.
We hit Amazon for 100,000. That's trust me.
Drop in the bucket.
That-
Could hit
that-
Amazon for
All right, but
a
that's
million.
Yeah,
the
they
biggest
find that in the
Amazon
couch
is
cushions.
Probably maybe the biggest publicly traded company on the planet. So pick something small and local, but yet still.
Yeah, that's how I
Well,
was
that's a
interpreting your
closely
question.
held entity. We're talking
yeah.
about a publicly
right. That's
traded.
a little different.
There's something small and local.
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
closely held is a
If it's
difference.
small,
But yet-
local, the amount
But
of
yet
shares.
publicly traded. But yet publicly traded. So not that small.
So it's
You
an
know,
F, it's an
I'm
it's, so
talking
it's
about,
so it's in to answer your question. There's an ethical dilemma potentially.
Right, and maybe you would want to get a different lawyer. I mean, you can always do that, could you not, Frank?
Well, sure, absolutely, you could. And I mean, if you don't think that your lawyer's acting in your best interest, the great thing about lawyers is you could fire them.
Yeah, and especially if that lawyer would take a case and had shares of stock, I would question that because there's an appearance of impropriety. I wouldn't touch that case with a 10-foot pole
Yeah.
if I had shares of stock in a local company.
But it's after the fact that I found that out, so I can't really fire somebody where it's all done. But it makes me pause and say, well, did this person really give me good representation? Because there's a conflict of interest. There's still business being done between the attorney.
Yes.
I don't know.
So
I
and
don't
that's a
know
tough
if
that's a
that
tough
stuff
question to
got
answer.
sold or when it got sold, but it happened, and I found out later.
Yeah. So I guess you've
Yeah.
got to be able to look at that from
My-
your
I can't go
perspective
with that.
and see how he did.
Do you feel that there was that you got an injustice as a result of the conflict, in your opinion, caller?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I just think to myself, well, maybe maybe there could have been a heck of a lot better deal going on here than there was,
Right.
because as technically an owner, but but a person holding stock is kind of sort of ish an owner.
Right.
If you want those shares of stock, you can ask for them, and they have they'll issue them to you. The certificates. So yeah, I mean, and to find that out later, so it gives me pause to think, wow, did this person really represent me to the best that they could have, or did they have in the back of their mind, but I have, I'm shooting myself in the foot. Not like I'm going to sink the entire ship, but it's there, right? I mean, that's the point.
Right. Should it have been disclosed prior to this? It sounds like it's a smaller thing, guys, not like Apple, like a smaller, more local type company or something along those lines.
It wasn't a multinational. It was
right.
something that was smaller
Right.
and regional, I would say, maybe.
Right. I would think it should have been disclosed prior to it. All right, my friend. Thank you for your question. Appreciate it. Guys, did we lose our lawyers?
No, we're all still here.
We're all still here.
Are you there?
We're nodding in
We,
agreement.
listen,
Oh, okay.
we can't really comment on whether a lawyer was professional or ethical or unethical. I mean, that's something that you have to take up on your own. So that's why we're kind of just sitting quietly.
Well, I thought you left the program. when
We're
you were
here.
sitting
We're
quiet,
here.
and all of a sudden I
We're
felt
enjoying
so
listening
alone.
to you. We were just enjoying listening to you and the caller.
I was going to call Zaddy and get him on the line. See if he could
You don't want to
fill in the rest of the program.
I can't.
Right. It said, I mean, some excellent questions. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I get what the guy's saying, but hey, you can always smart too late, as they say, right?
Yes.
On certain situations. All right,
Hindsight's
our attorneys
2020.
are here joining us tonight. It always is, isn't it, Mark?
It certainly is.
It really is. But that doesn't mean that you can't do a good job in any of these type of situations. I mean,
Yeah,
if
we
you're
don't
a
know
good
enough
lawyer,
about that
you're
situation to
gonna wanna
comment
do your
one
best
way
to
or another.
represent- But any situation, you want to represent your client to the best of your ability.
Sure.
And
We take an oath to do
that's,
that.
well, ultimately, I am sure that you've done that numerous times in divorce cases over the years, where you said, okay, and you represented your client. I know you, DeVecchio. I know you are a excellent attorney, and you give 100%
Thank you,
to
Ron.
your client.
Certainly try. We
100%.
certainly try.
And I think that's there's no trying about it. It's a fact. And David is the same way. And I know the king of Melfi land, it would be the same way. And Frank, well, he's sitting in Dave's seat. We can just tell you that a guy like that is willing to take on anything if he's willing to sit. Look at Frank alone tonight, guys. He's saying, listen, I'm not intimidated by Zaddy. I'll sit in this seat just like I'll represent anybody if I believe in them and their cause. Right, Frank?
That's it. No doubt.
Did he leave?
No, I'm here. You hear me?
All right. And I can't. Yeah, I can hear you. We were just a little quiet. That's all.
No,
All
I'm
right,
right
what's,
here.
I know that's
happening?
unusual
Who's
for our
doing
show.
I'm doing the
Yes, it is.
I'm doing the TV show tomorrow.
Oh, okay. And what will you be talking about on WFMJ TV 21 at 6:40 in the morning? Bring donuts.
Yeah, I will bring donuts. We'll be talking about the federal civil rights lawsuit that was filed recently here in town.
All right. You'll be discussing that. That'll be tomorrow at 6:40 on WFMJ Today when you show up with donuts and what have you for the TV broadcast, the shorter version, if you will.
That's it.
Of the
Are you
program.
going to the Canfield place to get them?
No, I'm going to.
What's right by your house?
I'm going to the Dunkin' by my house as my mother-in-law and my mom
So
needs
you-
to come
so
over.
But you have to pay for those.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have to
right,
pay for them at the
no,
other
right.
place.
I still would though. No, yeah, no. I like I said, I love Landmark. I love Rafe. It's off the beaten path for me. But the freeway's right by my house. But
But you know what? I think those donuts, I want everyone from WFMJ that's listening tonight to know that he's paying for those donuts, and
That's
they
it.
should taste much better than somebody that was just giving them for free and didn't have to pay a dime. That's all I want them to know. All right, thank you, Attorney DeVecchio, as always.
Thanks,
You're the
Ron.
best. Attorney, can we go to Burger King and get a crown for the Kingdom of Melfi? We should probably get a Burger King.
It honestly
crown
wouldn't
when
fit
we
my
get a
head,
chance
Ron.
for
Not just
James
because
Melfi.
not because of any ego. My head's so big. There's no way that thing's fitting on there.
I think they make them expandable now.
All right, and Frank Cassis and help me out, Mark. Tally
Orengia. Tally Orengia.
Tally
got
Shire.
it.
One of these days
Yeah,
you'll
what
get
a
it right. It's
beautiful-
fine.
I'm going to get that name right.
See you, Ron.
I know. I'm looking
Bye, thanks.
forward to
Talk
it
to you next
because
week, Ron.
It's a beautiful name. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. The Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Kopp. Back after the news at 6 on News Radio 570 WQAM.
Sarcoma. Odds are you've never heard that word before.